Alright, well, I'm back again, and this time I bring you my race wheel collection. For video games. Alright, let me start with the most generic, and then I'll work my way up to the most, from least favorite to favorite. Okay, so here we have the Nintendo Wii Mote steering wheel. I got two of those. They came with Mario Kart. I bought Mario Kart for Nintendo Wii, and it came with those. Got the Mad Cat steering wheel. It's digital and analog. It has a switch right here to switch it back and forth. Just generic pedals. It's generic steering. It feels like a metal hanger is what it's using. I don't know. Just kind of springy though. I'll tell you that. And then from there we'll go to the Gran racing wheel from Street Smartz. I'll talk into detail about this later. Probably last. As you can see, it's a controller and steering wheel combo. I love the concept, but the wheel itself is, I'll talk about that later. And here we go to my souped up bad boy I really enjoy. This goes to Xbox, Gamecube, and PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PC. I really like this one. It's got an analog left analog stick. Too bad it don't have two analog sticks, then it would be my favorite steering wheel of all these. But only one analog stick. I like it. You can remap the buttons and stuff. That's pretty cool. Then from there we go to the Naki Universal steering wheel. This goes to Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Sega Saturn. And this, I'll tell the story of each wheel as after I get done introducing them. Here's the Nintendo 64 Concept 4 Interact steering wheel. Interact Concept 4, by far my favorite. I want to say, well, it's one of my it's my first favorite. This is the first wheel I got that I really liked a lot. I liked it so much I bought it twice. I liked it so much I bought the same one for the PlayStation. They got one for Sega Dreamcast, but I don't need it because they got Dreamcast one out for Concept 4, but I can use this PlayStation one on my Dreamcast version. But I bought it twice too. These are so hard to come by. I bought brand new, two of each, because they're so rare. Then we move on up to the most recent and most expensive one of them all, the Fanatec for PS3 and PC. And this ain't your. I already got a review of this up on my on my channel if you want to see it. But look, it's got metal, real metal. This ain't like those anymore. It's not plasticky. This is real metal stuff, and this is the CSR Elite pedals that has adjustable brake sensitivity. Very good. Real metal shifters, but here's the H shifter. You know, H shifter, and then sequential shifter just goes up and down, and this has the H pattern, you know, like that. But since I've bought this, there's been a new released shifter that's the Club Sport shifter, and I want that one. But this will do for now. Next up, my favorite wheel out of them all when it comes to racing, when it comes to force feedback wheels, this one's my favorite. You might be wondering, why ain't the most expensive one your favorite? Well, just this one is specifically tailored to Gran Turismo 5, and this is the first wheel that introduced me to force feedback, and I just, you know, mainly, let me tell you, it works for old ass PC games that I never thought it would work with, like Driver You Are the Wheelman, the very first Driver game, supports force feedback. This works with that. Mafia, the very first Mafia game, supports force feedback. And I'm not talking about runnable support. I'm talking about race wheel, force feedback, feel the road, feel the vibrations, hit bumps, and you feel the curbs. It works with that. I haven't tried it with that, but I know that it works with that. And that's my favorite one, because I can sit in my recliner and use that one, but I can't sit in my recliner and use that one right now unless I hard mount it. But anyway, moving on. Nintendo 64. Wait, no, it's not Nintendo 64. PlayStation 2, Gamecube, and I believe Xbox. This goes to all those, yeah. Gamecube, Xbox, and PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Motorcycle wheel. I liked it so much I bought it twice. I've got two of them now. Poor Nintendo 64. It didn't get no motorcycle wheel love. But wait a minute. Yes, it did. Here we have, from the same makers of the Yamaha Motorsports game elements, we have, well, it looks like it's made from the same people, but yeah, it's the Xccelerator Motorsports controller. This goes in Nintendo 64 too. It blew my freaking mind. I was like, yay, so now I can use motorcycle wheel on Road Rash and Wave Race, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But when it comes to motorcycle wheels, here's the rarest gem of them all. I've already got a video of this, but I didn't show that. Here's this. It's got the adapter on it now. You're supposed to be able to sit on that and, you know, whatever. This is the Thrustmaster Freestyle bike wheel for PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and I use it on Sega Genesis for Road Rash and stuff like that with my PS1 adapter. Alright, now let's get into some stories. Okay, story behind the Mad Catz wheel. When I first started playing Mario Kart for Nintendo 64, I wanted a race wheel to play it with, and I've always been a fan of Cruising USA, and I always wanted to use a race wheel with that. So I bought this first, and I bought this second, and this was so good. I bought another one, a brand new one, and at the same time I bought I was wanting to do two-player, so I bought that first, and I wanted to play two-player mode, so I bought used one of these, and I liked it so much I bought a brand new one. And at the same time I bought the brand new one, I didn't think that I would get it in the mail or whatnot, so I went ahead and bought a second, this Naki, at the same time as I bought the new one of these, thinking I wouldn't get one of them, but I wound up getting both of them. And when I saw this Naki, I wasn't only buying it for two-player support, but I was also buying it because it's compatible with Sega Saturn, and I didn't have a PlayStation wheel yet to use a PlayStation wheel. So I figured this looks so much like the Mad Catz wheel, it would work great on PlayStation. I figured, well, it would be a great PlayStation wheel. So this would be my PlayStation wheel, and then it'd be my Sega Saturn wheel, and I could use it for a second player on Nintendo 64. But lo and behold, I got both of them. I got all these in the mail, and I got that in the mail, so I need not worry about Nintendo 64 two-player no more. But what I did want to do is play two-player PlayStation. So now that I have a PlayStation wheel, I wanted to play two-player PlayStation or two-player Sega Saturn, so I was looking for more race wheels. And then I found this one. This one not only goes to PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, it goes to Xbox and Gamecube also, and PC. So this one here was like the total package for me. And I saw that it was chrome, and this is the most expensive one. It was like 150 bucks, this one here alone. So I bought that sucker, got it home, and not knowing that Concept 4 also had a PlayStation 1 wheel, I went ahead and stuck with this as my #1 wheel at the time for PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and Xbox and all that. But as time goes by, I was looking up Concept 4 just to see if there was any more of these for sale, because they so rarely pop up, and one popped up for PlayStation. I was like, alright, yeah, alright. So if you're wondering, I want a PlayStation wheel for Dreamcast. I mean, not Dreamcast, for Need for Speed Part 1, right? Because Need for Speed Part 1, they say it's analog steering, and, well, I used this on the PlayStation 1, and it didn't have analog steering. I was like, oh, it don't work, you know. But the Sega Saturn version of Need for Speed did have analog steering, and this worked flawlessly with it. I was like, wow. And analog steering is like a real car steering. You turn a little bit, you turn a little bit, turn a lot, turn a lot. So I gave up on Need for Speed having analog steering. Well, anyway, so some while later, I bought this one, oh, and I also used this on Ridge Racer, and Ridge Racer also didn't have analog steering. And I was like, oh shit, well, forget it, you know. Ridge Racer, the first Ridge Racer, I'm a real fan of that game. I beat the hell out of it with the regular controller, but I always wanted to use a steering wheel on it. So I bought this to use on it, you know, steering wheel, PlayStation 1 games, you know. And I get it. And this and this, neither one gives analog steering to Ridge Racer or Need for Speed. But anyway, fast forward to some while later, I like the concept for race wheel so much because you can remap any of the buttons to the gas and brake. You can remap any of the buttons, any four of these buttons to the shoulder buttons, or you can remap them to the shifters. And I like this one so much. Plus, you can upgrade the sensitivity 1 through 3. And stuff like that. I like this controller so much. I want to buy a PlayStation one. I mean, I didn't even know anything good about it. I just knew I'd like to have a PlayStation one because it was a hell of a lot better than that one. Even though I like that one a lot, I knew that the Concept 4 was way better than that. So I was gonna get my second player of that one if I played on PlayStation, and I was gonna get one of these. So I bought one of these, and I got it in the mail, and I was surprised to see that this had not only had one analog mode, but it had 2 analog modes. I was like, why the hell does it need 2 analog modes? This one don't have 2 analog modes. Well, as it turns out, this steering wheel, PlayStation had a little controller thing. It was called the Namco Race Negcon. And what the Negcon does was it gave some race games analog steering. And I was like, what the hell? So I was like, oh my god. So I tried this on Namco racing game called Ridge Racer, put it in analog mode, Negcon mode. Boom, I got analog steering in Ridge Racer. Blew my freaking mind. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to try it, that Negcon mode. I'm going to try it on Need for Speed Part 1. I tried it on Need for Speed Part 1, and it worked. I was like, oh my god, finally, after all these years, here I am, you know, playing Need for Speed Part 1 and Ridge Racer with a real steering wheel, with real analog steering, and I liked it so much. I was so excited. I bought a second one. As soon as I saw one pop up, I bought another one. So, folks, if you want to play the original Ridge Racer or the original Need for Speed with analog steering, you get this Concept 4. You will not be dissatisfied. It's great. Oh, and another thing is these have that this don't have and that don't have. Well, I think that has it. That has vibration function. That one don't have vibration function. This has vibration function, and this has vibration function. I believe that, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. But anyway, so as I get into, I wanted the official steering wheel. I wanted to get this steering wheel eventually, but what happened was I always wanted a steering wheel stand so I could sit on my couch and play race games. Well, I saw, you know, this wheel usually sells for brand new $150, you know, and then there's a Wheel Stand Pro is a race stand that, you know, you hold your pedals for you and you hold your steering wheel for you while you sit on your couch and play. So I saw on auction for the Wheel Stand Pro, and it came with this, and I was like, well, hell, 2 birds with 1 stone, and both of them was like $170, both in one bundle. So I bought both of them. And when I got this home, I've already told a story in my other video, but I'll go ahead and tell it again. I got this sucker home, and unbeknownst to me, man, boy howdy, this thing came alive. I mean, literally, it has gears and motors and all that stuff inside of it. And when I plugged this sucker into Gran Turismo 5, man, you never played a game. You never played a racing game until you play it with one of these. Let me just put it that way. And since it, you know, let's put it this way: every car in that game has a distinctive steering style, and every car in that game has different reactions to the road. And this, with the force feedback, lets you feel the road and the G-forces and all that stuff. You know, and I'm telling everybody right now, if you're watching this video, force feedback, all these wheels right here all these wheels, all these old wheels, they say force feedback. They say force feedback. And me thinking vibration feedback, I thought it was just vibration, right? No. Force feedback is totally different than vibration, than rumble. Force feedback makes the wheel react to the road as if a real car would. You know how whenever you turn a corner, the car has a bite to the steering wheel's fighting you because the G-force is on the tires? That's what force feedback is. So this turned me on to that, and I was like, well, golly, you know. Not only is this the Gran Turismo 5 official wheel, it goes to so many other games. It goes to PC. It hooks up to the PC. Play all. I was shocked and amazed to find that old ass games like Driver, You Are the Wheelman on Windows 7 compatible with this. The freaking road came to life. I was like, oh my god. And not only that, this one is a step above all the rest also, in that it has 900-degree steering rotation, like the wheel will wrap around twice or 3 times, whatever. So this turned me on to that, and then I started researching steering wheels and stuff, and started researching what the hell, what do I have in my hands here? This is badass. I never would have thought, you know, I had something so great. And then, as it turns out, that at the time, the Logitech G25 and the Logitech G27 were the kings of steering wheels. And, well, when this came out. But since then, some bigger, badder boys have came into the race. Talking about Fanatec. They've come into the race and been kicking butt and taking names. And Thrustmaster right now has my eyes set on Thrustmaster also, because Thrustmaster has the T500 real simulator steering wheel, and it's also the Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6 official wheel, and it's like the souped up version of this. I mean, it's like this, but it's souped up. It's got more motors in it, more power, more torque, the whole 9 yards. And as it turns out, I'm thinking this is the biggest bad boy on the block, but it ain't. This one is slightly under the G27 when it comes to everybody's opinions or whatever, but because it doesn't have the clutch. See how these have the 3 here? You can, in some games, this is the clutch, but you can also program it to be your handbrake, which is also awesome, more realistic. You know what I mean? And this don't have that third wheel deal, so the G25 and the G27 have that third brake, so that's why everybody's so excited about those. Plus, the G25 and G26, I think, have the H shifter, and this don't. This has generic shifter, but so this is what I learned is the entry level wheel, and for me, I wanted to learn more about Fanatec, and the difference between Fanatec and the G13 is this is a rubber belt-based wheel, and this is gear-based. So the difference is that's more smooth steering, kind of power steering smooth. See how it don't make no noise, but this one does. See, that's gears and that's belt. That's the difference. That one's more realistic, and plus metal, more realistic, and metal, real realistic. So what has happened since? So I got the entry level, the best of the best. This is like combined everything, the greatest Logitech, but entry level. So I wanted the best, everything offered best entry level for Fanatec, and I bought this, and then after I bought this, I didn't freaking realize they have the GT2, and the GT2 is compatible with Xbox 360, but I didn't get that one. I got this one. I was like, oh shit, I should have got the GT2. This is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and I was thinking 3 was greater than 2, so I bought the 3. Turns out the GT3 doesn't have Xbox compatibility, so I was like, durr. Oh shit, who'd have thought? You'd figure the GT3 was the one that was the, you know, had all the compatibility, because it's 3 and not 2. You figure 2 is only compatible with PC and PS3, but no, the GT3 is the only one that's compatible with PC and PS3. The GT2 has Xbox 360 compatibility, and I was like, shit. But anyway, so as it turns out, there's 3 great big bad boys out right now that I want to get, and it's the Thrustmaster T500 RS with its 6-way shifter, and then also I want the Fanatec, what is it? FanatecCSR Elite wheel because it's basically like the Club Sport wheel. It's the best of the best, but it's got Xbox 360 compatibility. And then last and not least, the Club Sport Fanatec wheel, because it has it's the biggest, baddest boy on the block for Fanatec, and it has interchangeable wheels, just like the CSR Elite wheel has interchangeable wheels, and it has a badass shifter. But I'll review those when I get them. And one thing I've been searching for and I can't find is, I want to see Fanatec Club Sport wheel go up against the Thrustmaster T500 RS, and it just ain't, there ain't one. There ain't no video of it because everybody's too chicken shit to do it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so then we move on to motorcycles. I've always been a huge fan of you know, road rash games, motorcycle games alike. You know, road rash being the #1. And I bought this at a pawn. I bought this Thrustmaster freestyle bike wheel at a pawn shop. I got the full story on that on a previous video. And but anyway, before I bought it, I came home to do research on motorcycle wheels, and this is the only one that popped up. So I bought a couple of these, thinking I wouldn't get one. I bought one of these, thinking I wouldn't get one of those. I thought by the time I went back to the pawn shop, that'd be gone. But anyway, I bought this, and since then I liked it so much, I bought 2 of them. This goes to Gamecube, PS2, and Xbox with an adapter. So ever since I bought this, I've been on the lookout for a motorcycle wheel, and the only one that ever pops up is this one. Well, lo and behold, one time, twice this popped up, and it goes to Nintendo 64. I was so excited I bought 2 of them. One of them didn't work, and one of them did work. The one that does work didn't have a box. The one that don't work is in the box. So I went ahead and kept both so I can keep this and put it in the box. But yeah, this works just fine with road rash and stuff like that. And I was so excited to get it. And let's see here. And last but not least, if we'll talk about this here. Similar story to this. So I saw this bad boy here. Let's sit down. This is the Gran racing wheel, Street Smartz Gran racing wheel. What turned me on to this was I've been playing Road Rash. I mean, not Road Rash, but Grand Theft Auto with this wheel, and it has the left analog stick, and that's great for when you're walking around out of your car and stuff. And it's great. I can use a mouse to control my camera and stuff, so it's fine. It works just fine with PC and stuff. But then when I saw this thing for a PS2, I was like, all right, finally, somebody read my mind. Not only can you walk around in Grand Theft Auto 4 and control your camera with the right analog stick, but you can also drive with the real steering wheel. It's like, all right, yeah, great. So I saw this on a review, and they talked about it and everything. Oh, that review's crap. I don't believe that. They didn't talk about this thing, but I'm telling you right now, this thing is generic as hell. I mean, this steers better than that. And you know what else is generic about it? Anytime you want to walk around or you want to use steering, you have to switch this little black button. So you know this black button's got a short life. So you can't do. It's not operational right off the bat. Anytime you want to use the steering wheel, you have to switch the button, which sucks. Also, I mean, it's so small. It's like a baby steering wheel. It's so small, and look at one hand. I mean, look at this freaking. The pedals are about the size of my hand. It's like made for a freaking baby. I was so disappointed when I got this in the mail. But not only that, I mean, it serves its purpose, and I'm going to use it because, you know, it's the only damn thing out right now that does what I want it to do. You can play Grand Theft Auto 5 games and, you know, ride your bikes or drive your cars, and then switch the switch, and then you're using the controller again. And it's got these, not only does it have the gear shifters under here, I don't know if you can see the wings right there. The gear shifters, not only does it have that, but it has 2 buttons right here too underneath the steering wheel. So it's very effective. But when I first got this thing, the jokers that was selling it online said it was in the box, complete, working order, but they're lying their ass off. It was broke. This left analog stick was broke. It was just dangling, hanging off there. So I had a piece of junk in the mail, and I was like, son of a man, this is bullcrap. But anyway, so I found another one, and it was advertised as working without a box. So I bought this one, and so rather than complain and get my money back for this one, I just said fuck it and kept both, because just like with that over there, I got the boxed one's broke and the non-boxed one's not broke, so I'll just put them together. Plus, the box came with the lap. It comes with the lap clamps that you hold in your lap, and I figured that's the only way I can get it to clamp to a table. So keep the lap clamps and all that stuff. But another thing, this thing's missing that I can't stand is it's missing a manual, and it has a mode button, and I don't know what the fuck the mode button is for. I figure it's for remapping your buttons, but I don't know. Analog mode, digital mode, but still, there's a macro button. I'm like, how the hell do I use the macro button? And I've searched Google, you know it, and I can't find it nowhere. But can't find the manual to tell me anything about that. But let's just say if Thrustmaster or Fanatec came out with the wheel that had these button sets, and these button sets are behind the wheel, and analog sticks just like this, like they're supposed to be, that would be the ultimate wheel right there, because then you could use your race wheel on every freaking game. I mean, imagine playing Call of Duty or Battlefield 4 and controlling a tank with your and controlling your run and gun, and also all with the race wheel. I mean, wouldn't that be great? I'm surprised ain't no one done it yet. But Fanatec, they have a dual analog wheel. The Club Sport is a dual analog, but the button sets are so crappy. The buttons ain't where they're supposed to be. It has dual analogs, but the buttons are all spaced out all over the place, and it's just it don't mimic a PlayStation controller. If they can mimic a PlayStation controller and have dual analog, then shit, we'd be set, wouldn't we? We'd be able to run and gun and drive off, you know, in all the games and stuff. But for what it's worth, you might be wondering, why don't you sell off all these, or sell off? Because they're not obsolete. None of these are obsolete to me. I need say Mario Kart on 64. I need that, and I need these in case I want to do 4-player, and PlayStation and Xbox and Gamecube. I want to do 2-player. I need that, and need these for multiplayer. This does not replace that, because that I can recline with and all that stuff. This one I can't. I gotta sit in my stand to do this one. This has real leather, Alcantara leather. Well, it's more like suede. These two, one's a backup. This is one of a kind. I can't find any more of these. This is definitely one of a kind. Can't find no more of these. I lucked out on getting out of the pawn shop. Shit. But they all serve a purpose, ranging from PS1 till now. All the consoles, I have a steering wheel for every one of them. And if you want to play racing games, you're going to want a steering wheel. Alright, see you later.